jump, I saw you already out the front.
Good morning. Right, a massive hello to all the new subscribers that have joined the channel since our last video. It is absolutely blown up. So a lot of you are very interested in the bit of land that we have bought in Scotland. And so today I thought I'd just do a quick Q&A from all the questions that you all asked in the comments. And whilst I'm doing that, I'm also just going to work on a little project which is for our truck, which we will be taking up to Scotland. So yeah, let's start building and answering some questions. Because there's so many new subscribers on here, I thought I'd just give a quick little backstory of me and Rachel. So 5 years ago, I think it's still 5 years ago. I keep on saying 5 years, but I feel like it's been another year since I've said 5 years. 5 or 6 years ago, I was in a rented accommodation with a few mates and we all decided to go different ways. I was really into the van life on YouTube at that point, and I was just like, I could make this work. Being a full-time carpenter, and not only that, but having a Siberian Husky, I thought it just fitted perfectly for how I could live the van life sort of style. Obviously getting a big vehicle so I can take all my tools around, but also a safe place for Odin whilst I was at work. Took the plunge, bought a Riot van. If you don't know what the van is, it is a Mercedes Sprinter 518 Metropolitan Police Riot van. So yeah, it's got a few bumps and bruises, but came with some really good mileage on it, and it's like the perfect box, and especially to feel safe as well. Whilst I was still living in a rented accommodation, I bought this, started building it on the property, and then once it was ready, I then moved off. And then from there, I just worked as a self-employed carpenter, going around to different jobs, different building sites, and yeah, it seemed to work really well. Now within this time, I met Rachel. She was an old flame of mine back in the day, and we reconnected. From there, obviously told her I lived in a van now, and she loved the idea, and we went straight off to Scotland. We actually went to the Outer Hebrides and stayed in like a treehouse sort of thing, and obviously took Odin with us. That's one of the videos on my channel if you want to go back and watch that. Very early days on YouTube, and didn't have very good editing software or skills for that matter. Still don't. So then yeah, from there it just sort of carried on living. We went through COVID and everything like that, and yeah, we've redone Kevlar a few times as well. That's also on my channel if you want to see how we converted it the first and second time. Yeah, recently you may have seen in the last video that Kevlar goes from silver to green, and that's because we painted it with Raptor paint, which again is on my channel. Go and have a look, go and have a little look through all my old videos if you want to know a little bit about us. And then that leaves us sort of here today. Me and Rachel are very happy together. We are currently back at my parents' house just while we save a bit of money. I think we said it in the video. At this very moment I am messing about with a Ford Ranger truck, which is going to be our vehicle that we take back up to Scotland with us, hopefully in November. And obviously it being a truck, it serves the purpose of me going back to work in the truck, not the Riot van, and with a roof tent on it, it's going to be our home for a couple of weeks while we're up there. Right, some of you long-time viewers might recognise this bit of metal. It was from the roof rack that I made on Kevlar many years ago, and yeah, these little eyelets were for weaving sort of stretchy bungee in between, so we had like a place to sit on top. Didn't really work, I'm not gonna lie to you, but I did manage to save like 2 bits of the roof rack because it was a lot of aluminium, and as you saw I put timber inside it so I could fix it all together, because obviously it's aluminium, I don't know how to weld aluminium. But what we're going to use with this is make a light bar for on top of the truck. I think the wood inside might actually help us in this way, so yeah, that's today's project. So we had some very useful comments about the woodlands that is around us. A lot of mixed messages on like if the trees are old or young. But one of the things that we have taken away from it is that we will contact the forestry company sooner rather than later. So yeah, I think that's something that we're going to get on straight away, and yeah, just have a chat with them, see what the future is, see what the possibilities are, and if it would affect any planning. We are not in the middle of a woodland. We do have a road nearby, so we're not in the middle of a forest. We're almost like on the edge of a forest, basically. So obviously we keep on mentioning that we want to sort of live off grid, and we know that there are many levels to living off grid. All right, there's levels to the fact of like you don't even exist, and that's you off grid. You're not connected in any way. The way that we would like to be off grid is just relying on solar for our electricity, and worst case scenario, a generator has to be switched on over winter or something like that. We want our own well. We're hoping that there is a well on the land, but if not, we'll dig one. So there are no services to the plot at all. There is electric nearby if we did want to connect to it, which possibly we might have to for planning, which is absolutely fine. If anything, if it comes to that, we would just be given back to the grid. And so we're also going to go down the route of putting a septic tank in, because obviously there are no sewage pipes anywhere nearby, and just have it emptied, whatever it is, once or twice a year. But like I say, all of this will have to go through planning. We're obviously very new to it. There might be the possibility that we don't get it. So it's one of those things where we keep on saying this is what we're going to do, but we don't know until we start doing it. Now, what am I doing with this? So, how big is the land? Well, it's just under half an acre, basically. And as for where is the locations, all we're comfortable at the moment is just saying that it's the Scottish Highlands. We're not really giving away any locations of where we are. Plus, we don't want to say anything before planning and everything goes through, just to be on the safe side, really. I promise you, when it comes to building on the land, the quality will be a lot better than what this is going to be. Right, we've only got a few weeks before we head back to Scotland, and I've got a lot to do. And if it works, it works. Oh yes. Beauty. Oh, that's going to be real nice. Did that. Ah, yes. Okay. So, are we now a lord and lady? Yeah, sadly not. That is not how it works. And I believe it's not a lord in Scotland. I think it's a laird. I'm really sorry if that's wrong, but yeah. But all those things that you can buy online to buy a little plot of land in Scotland and be called a lord or something like that. Yeah, absolute bullshit. Don't be mugged off. It doesn't work like that. Just bloody recorded in time lapse, didn't I? So, can you see where I'm kind of going with this now? Nice little low profile roof bar. Get some lights on that. That'll work really nice. Right, so what is the plan? Bloody good question. So we head back to Scotland in November. We're going there to basically clear the land, see what's on the land, find the foundations of the previous dwelling. We just feel like that might help with planning going forward. In case we also have like a site inspection as well, if they want to see what we want to do. And basically mark out what the buildings that we want to put on there. Because we do want to put two. One being my workshop, which may be a bit mad, like why are you building a workshop for a house? So the way that it is at the moment, I'm obviously down here earning money. Rachel works remotely, which is brilliant. She has a very good job. And so with what we're saving now, we can go to the land, assuming planning all goes through and everything like that. And then once I build a workshop in there, I can work from there, work from Scotland. So yeah, I can start making some products that I really want to make and start selling them online. There was a video that I did when we were in Scotland where I was making these chopping boards, and they're quite unique. It's always been a passion of mine to have my own workshop and to make furniture and sort of maybe one-off pieces or collection of items. Yeah. So yeah, this is basically why a workshop is going to be built first, plus it will have the solar on it. It's the highest point on the land, and the batteries and everything will be in there, and we will still be living in Kevlar. Yeah, he's obviously our full-time home, and when we get there he will still be our full-time home, and we will live in it for however long it takes for me to build a house and save up the money. So that's sort of the goal at the moment. Obviously we'd like to build a house straight away, but yeah, we feel like this way is probably going to work best. Well, that's pretty cool. We've just reached over 9,000 subscribers. That's pretty crazy. Just tripled my subscribers in a matter of a week. So yeah, thank you to everyone who has liked, commented and even shared this video. I really do appreciate it. It does help a lot. In fact, hopefully from the land video, from what we've made from that, I can get a nice roof tent for the truck for when we head back up. So yeah, thank you very much everyone. Right, I need to crack on with this roof bar and maybe think of other questions that you've asked. Okay, so a few of you asked, why did Rachel not want to get out of the van? There are so many variables to this little clip that I put in the video. So there's a few things. When we were travelling around Scotland, we were purely relying on Rachel's work to keep us afloat. She was the only one that was earning. I just had all the money that I'd saved up and was sort of living off that if I had to buy anything. So when we got to the plot of land, like, one of the things was that we needed signal because she needed to get on the meeting like in 5 or 10 minutes, I think it was. So when I was looking around the land, she was actually inside working. And another reason why she didn't want to get out, purely because we had been looking at this plot for quite a long time. Yeah, Google Maps, everything. We knew everything. We knew that we loved the plot. It was in Tomintoul. If you don't know, Tomintoul is the highest village, I believe, in Scotland or in the Highlands. It's a really beautiful place, and we fell in love with it, I think, the first time that we went there. So we were like, if a plot comes up in Tomintoul, like, yeah, we've got to go for it. We know that we love it there. It's a dark sky reserve. That road that was off the land is like the old military road. You drive down that and it's beautiful. So yeah, we would have loved to have got that Tomintoul plot, but as many of you said, what's meant to be was meant to be. But yeah, I think just nerves, the fact that she was worried about getting onto a meeting with signal and everything like that. Yeah, there was a lot, and as you saw, she did come out. She did explore around with me. And as for the second plot, there wasn't really anywhere close to park. We don't like leaving the dogs by themselves because they tend to go off on one. So she stayed with the dogs, and I was driving back down to the plot so we could all have a look. But unfortunately, someone else came to view the property. In fact, like 3 people came to view that property, so I'm not surprised by how much it actually went for. So I finished making it. However, I didn't quite take into the fact of how much of a curve there is on the roof. And so these little step off bits, arms, whatever you want to call them, aren't actually long enough. So I'm trying to bend this, which is working. We are getting a slight bend. Yeah, this is obviously very, very strong. So I've just been putting 2 blocks down and jumping in the middle of it. But it ain't working. Right. Yeah. This isn't weird. Definitely wasn't expecting to be doing this today. I wonder if that's done it. Stop springing back. Come on. Oh. We have buckled in the middle. Right, I think we've got that bent enough now. It took a little bit longer to glue up than I thought, but yeah, that's now done. Still waiting for the lights to arrive, but yeah, another job done. Oh, what is left? You might have noticed this massive bull bar that's in the video. Yeah, it's a little project I was working on, but it's a bit more complicated than I thought, so I don't think it's going to be on the vehicle when we take it up to Scotland, but maybe it's a project for when I come back. But yeah, it's basically a Land Rover Defender bull bar that I'm trying to put on the front of this Ford Ranger. It looks ridiculous. Right, I think that's nearly it for this video. One more thing I did want to say is I noticed a lot of comments were of people saying that they would love to do the same and they've been trying to look for some land, and all I can say to that is don't give up, keep on doing it. You will find your bit of land, trust me. It's taken nearly 2 years for us to find ours, but one day one will pop up, and just get in there fast. Keep an eye on the market. That's another question a lot of people actually asked, is where did we find the property? And we found it on the market. We did look at future property auctions and all of that, but the fees that they take are ridiculous, and something what's usually advertised for goes for so much more. So yeah, don't bother sort of looking at prices on an auction, because it's nothing what they would go for. It's a starting bid, so depends on the plot really, doesn't it? But yeah, we are super excited to take you on this adventure. It's something that ever since I went into the building trade I've always wanted to build my own home. Thank you all for supporting this, and yeah, you've made a big change already. So what's going to come out now is a series of videos of me playing around with this truck and adding some features, and then I believe the next video will be us rocking up on the land. If I've missed any questions, throw them down in the comments down below, and I'll happily do another one of these maybe a little bit later on. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Oh, that's so cringe.